With that, it is my pleasure to introduce the hardest working member of ASHRAE. Your current president, Sheila Hayter, is spending countless hours representing us and our society to numerous outside organizations and ASHRAE chapters around the world. She is repeatedly asked to discuss impromptu topics for which she has to think on her feet and respond professionally and responsibly, and all of this is done over and over again with grace and dignity. She completes all of her great work while asking us to think outside of our ASHRAE box, asking us to think bigger and better than our traditional thoughts. All of this work with her crazy schedule and commitments, she still finds time to be a friend, a mother, and a fantastic downhill skier. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my friend and my ASHRAE hero, Sheila Hayter.
When I was first installed as your society president 6 months ago, I asked you to think of me as a bridge from our energy present to our energy future. I shared with you my vision for how ASHRAE and our society members will play a crucial role in connecting the past to our future, to serving as a bridge that connects buildings, energy, and the environment. In my comments, I said that to build this bridge between our society and that new energy future, we would have to do three things: become aware, get engaged, and start now. We've accomplished so much in these areas since June, and I'm excited to share these achievements with you. During this time with you today, I hope to update you on the specific aspects of these three areas, further discuss how we at ASHRAE can be part of building a bridge to that new energy future, and encourage you to continue your part in becoming more aware and getting engaged and starting now. We are a global, inclusive community, united by a common passion to optimize the design and performance of buildings. The work of ASHRAE members is not constrained by borders. We have moved forward with a focus on a stronger global presence to better serve our members. How are we accomplishing this? Well, let's begin with becoming aware. What does our new energy future look like? And what do buildings have to do with it? Fortunately for you, we have published this primer that's shown on the slide now. This is a document called Building Our New Energy Future. More copies are available here today, and a PDF version is available for download from the ASHRAE website. So go to ashrae.org and click the blue box on the home page for your own version of it. This document was developed in collaboration with the American Institute of Architects, AIA, the National Institute for Building Science, NIBS, and NREL, the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, where I work. It looks at the future of the electricity sector and the role that buildings are going to be playing in the evolving changes that we're seeing right now in our energy systems. This document is designed to help you, your colleagues, and your clients understand some of the topics that I'll be touching on today, and to give us a common language and a baseline of understanding. I'm excited to share that this primer has received more than 956 people have downloaded this version from the ASHRAE website, and more than 1,100 copies of it in print form have been distributed. However, to be the strongest bridge we can be, we need all members, especially those that are here today, to embrace this resource. So if you have not already received your own copy, downloaded it from the webpage, we want you to get it. So we have a few copies that are available in the back of this room today that you can take on your way out, and I ask you to go to the ashrae.org and the President's page and download it for your own information. I'm excited to share that this primer has been translated into Portuguese. This is the first of many languages that we hope that it will be translated into, so it can serve as a resource for all of our members. In addition to the primer, we are focusing on strengthening the Distinguished Lecture Program by empowering our DLs to be able to present and speak on topics related to our new energy building future. As of today, about 15% of our DL speakers are able to do this, and we are looking forward to increasing that number by developing more high-quality content about smart buildings, the smart grid, the connectivity of buildings through microgrids and the smart grid, and ensuring that practices continue to focus on wellness in the built environment. Before describing what else ASHRAE is doing and is going to do to help you become aware, let me describe what this future will be with a little refresher on our power sectors of today. Electricity powers our modern life, our work, our homes, our schools, healthcare facilities, everything that we do. And buildings are the power sector's #1 customer. In fact, buildings consume nearly 3/4 of all the power that's generated. Usually we think of the electricity sector when we're just thinking about it by what you see on this picture here. It's the grid. We think of those wires that power is flowing through. Where does that power come from? It comes from centralized power production facilities that are located far from that grid. That power is pushed through the grid and ends up at the building load, which, as we know, is the buildings. This model has worked great, but it's a model that's 100 years old. It's a great model. In fact, it's been considered one of the greatest achievements of the 21st or the 20th century. But this is a model that is 100 years old, and this model is changing. And we are moving to that 21st century power model, and we need 21st century buildings to go with it. So, this current grid also influences what we do in buildings. Electricity is a big expense, and so we design and operate buildings to minimize that expense. Usually this is how we think about it. We tend to think of buildings as a box, and we put systems in that box, and we as buildings engineers, we know how to make those things work. We drop that together, we put it all together, and we're meeting our clients' expectations. And I'm happy to say we are really good at doing that. We are really good at making that box work. But as I said before, we need a 21st century buildings to go along with this new 21st century power systems that are coming our way. And ASHRAE is prepared to provide you with the continuing education, the tools, and the resources to meet that need. The reality is that 20th century model is already under stress. So what is this 21st century model going to look like? Well, technologies will change. We'll see more distributed energy resources such as solar and wind systems that are integrated with improved and less expensive battery storage systems and microgrids that are part of that building system. Electricity flow will be bidirectional. We'll no longer see it coming from the power plant to the building, but it'll be moving in multiple directions. Individual building owners and third-party providers will own generation. Your building owner client may decide to get into the electricity business, and you need to be ready to help them. Our building systems will work with the Internet of Things. These are devices in buildings that communicate via the internet and have an impact on all the electricity loads. To handle all of this, buildings and the grid will have to get smarter. We will transition to a future of smart buildings that play a dynamic role with the smart grid. And we will have to do all of that without compromising the health and wellness of the built environment. If the electricity sector is transitioning to a smart grid, then people like us, ASHRAE members, we will be among the smart grid's most important customers. We need to learn more about it. The primer will help you get started, but in addition to that, we are in the process of developing an application guide on smart grids to put relevant information at your fingertips. This guide will include practical information for building owners and design professionals about designing and operating buildings, whether it's new construction or renovations, but doing this in ways that are grid-friendly. The ASHRAE Smart Grid Application Guide is well on its way to be developed, so watch for it coming out in the year to come. In addition to the primer, we are also developing a presidential webinar called Efficient Buildings, the Future and More Intelligent Grid. This will be available in the spring, so keep an eye out for that and please participate when it's available. Additionally, we have produced 3 Q&A videos. All of them are between 1 and 2 minutes long, just really short little clips to help you become more informed. The first one, titled The Potential for Zero Energy Districts, was released on December 27th. You can check this out. You can see this video on my Facebook page or my presidential page on ashray.org. Smart Homes, Energy Saving and Money, and Grid Interactive Buildings are the two other videos that will be available later this spring. Again, all of these can be found on ashray.org/president. Earlier, I said we have to do three things: get aware, get engaged, start now. All that I covered is the getting aware part. We are already moving the needle for our society, but it's a big job that won't happen overnight. So let me just wrap this up for you to the getting aware part. To increase your awareness about a new energy future, here are some things that I want you to do. I want you to read this primer. Remember, access it if you don't already have it. Watch the presidential webinars that I spoke about that will be available later this spring. Attend conferences and meetings on distributed energy resources, smart grids, buildings to grid systems, such as the program track that's available right here at this conference now, as well as the anticipated series of ASHRAE educational webinars that will be offered on related subjects. Sign up for newsletters, read blogs on the same. Get these topics on your radar now, and when it's available, read the application guide on smart grids. And finally, follow ASHRAE on social media, and I will fill you more in later on how you can do that and things that are becoming available. So all of these changes will have an impact on the future of buildings design, construction, commissioning, maintenance, and operation. There are and will continue to be many other businesses and entire industry sectors out there that recognize the opportunity in that these energy changes that are occurring now, that are now underway, and they are expected to expand in the near future to take advantage of these opportunities. So think about it. We have big players in the technology sectors that are already making their ways into home automation systems and controls for heating and cooling, lighting, and electronics. We have big players in the technology sector that are making headway with energy storage and solar PV systems. The utility sector has been working on issues related to distributed energy resources like solar and wind, battery storage, microgrids, and the smart grid for several years now. Data is going to be the golden key when all of these things start to come together. And data is the golden key to our new energy future. So any company, any sector with an interest in our data is already thinking about this new energy future. These industries see opportunities in how energy is generated, distributed, and stored, and they are starting to mobilize to take advantage of these opportunities now to their benefit. If building professionals aren't part of that research, the development, the policy changes, the conferences, meetings, conversations, we will see other industries and other sectors setting the stage for their benefit. And what they decide to do may or may not benefit the buildings industry. It may or may not benefit our clients. And most importantly, it may or may not benefit the building's occupants. So who would you rather have establishing smart grid and smart building standards about thermal comfort, indoor air quality, and occupant wellness within the built environment? A tech company or those of us in this room? Who would you rather have establishing communication protocols and standards that affect building systems operations? Should this be the power sector or those of us in this room? Of course, it should be us. We have nearly 125 years of experience doing this. We are the buildings experts. So again, it's important to become aware, but if we don't also get engaged, the essential, critically important role that we play in the buildings industry right now could change dramatically. So, how do we get engaged and how do we build that bridge to our new energy future? It's a great question. I'm glad you asked. I will touch on more on how we can continue to be engaged, but here are a few ways that you as members and as ASHRAE and as in our society that we have already engaged with our industry through strategic partnerships, through media, social media influence, and other important areas of engagement. In October this year, ASHRAE and the American Society of Plumbing Engineers, or ASPE, signed a new memorandum of understanding formalizing the organizational relationships between our two organizations. The water energy nexus in buildings is becoming more pronounced as we push buildings to perform using integrated building design tools and techniques. Second, ASHRAE's Executive Committee and the Institute of Refrigeration have recently reached an agreement to share resources and work more closely together. As a benefit of this alignment, ASHRAE members can now join the IOR as an e-affiliate member, which provides ASHRAE members or all e-affiliate members with special discounted partner membership fees and access to all kinds of resources that will benefit our industry. Next, World Refrigeration Day. This has been established to raise the awareness of refrigeration, air conditioning, and heat pumps and their role in modern society to a much wider audience. Our endorsement of this day strengthens ASHRAE's profile in the refrigeration community. And finally, ASHRAE has agreed to endorse the Global Cooling Prize. The Global Cooling Prize is rallying a global coalition of leaders to solve the critical climate threat that comes from growing demand of residential air conditioning systems. By harnessing the power of innovation, we can provide cooling solutions that enhance people's lives without contributing to the runaway climate change. This groundbreaking competition is designed to incentivize the development of a residential cooling system that will have at least 5 times less climate impact than today's standards AC units. This technology could prevent up to 100 gigatons of CO2 equivalent emissions by 2050. And by doing this, put the world on a pathway to mitigate up to half a degree Celsius of global warming by 2100. All the while enhancing the living standards for people in developing economies. Students are our future members. And in fact, more than 10% of our ASHRAE membership right now are students. We take pride in providing students with opportunities that other organizations do not, and we must continue the initiatives that we have underway to develop, strengthen, and encourage students interested in our industry. 8 student chapters were approved at the Fall Members Council meeting, and 9 additional student branches are on the agenda for approval here in Atlanta. One of the many ways ASHRAE does this is through society scholarships. So in August, we announced that ASHRAE funded 34 society scholarships totaling $169,000 for the 2018 and 2019 year. So I want to thank everybody that's made contributions to help make that possible. Yes. This year, in addition to our US applicants, students from 6 different countries have made submissions, making this a truly global applicant pool for the 2000-2020 academic year. These scholarships can be life-changing for students. And additionally, ASHRAE sponsors several different competitions for students. So this year, the student design competition winners were a collaborative team from Pennsylvania State University and the Technical University of Denmark. We recognized them during the plenary session a couple days ago. The team provided insight into the sensitive environmental crisis of the decreasing water supply of Istanbul, Turkey, that they're facing right now due to an expanding population. Also, the Solar Decathlon Race to Zero Challenge is another annual student competition that ASHRAE is involved in. It was started by the U.S. Department of Energy, and since its onset, ASHRAE has been involved by providing judges and sponsoring social events during these competitions. This year, for the competition, the Solar Decathlon Race to Zero competition, there are 40 teams from 34 universities that are competing in the design of a zero energy ready homes. They're so energy efficient that their annual energy use can be offset by the addition of renewable energy technologies. The Solar Decathlon Race to Zero Challenge is a great experience for students, and we cannot recommend participating enough. And I'm pleased to say that the 2019 challenge will actually be held in my backyard, so to speak. It's going to be held on the campus of the laboratory where I work in Colorado. Students can also participate in the SETI Family Foundation 2019 Applied Engineering Design Challenge to design a self-sustaining community for the 5,000 residents of the island of Vieques, Puerto Rico, that includes on-site power generation, water and sewer treatment, and agriculture to make the community a self-sustaining community. So, how else can we get engaged in building our bridge to this new energy future? Well, in addition to promoting the awareness about the primer, the presidential webinar, the application guide on smart grids, ASHRAE has and will continue to actively engage in the smart grid community. Buildings are the #1 consumer of electricity. This is a reminder. So, as leaders in the industry, in the buildings industry, we want to ensure that ASHRAE asserts its expertise and maintains its relevance. So to do this, ASHRAE will take a leadership role in defining the relationships between buildings and the smart grid. We will identify and approach existing organizations or groups of organizations who are focused on smart grids with which we can engage and bring our critically valuable expertise to the table. Building systems will likely communicate about energy use through the internet and be able to exchange information with the electricity providers and with other buildings. Building systems will also likely receive data via the internet and use that data to inform the system operation and performance. All of this communication is a good thing, as long as it can be done while ensuring the safety, security, and privacy of the buildings, occupants, and their information. This is why ASHRAE will engage in the cybersecurity community. It is important that the buildings industry address the building-specific cybersecurity issues. We know there are some key players in this space. So during this year, we will develop more effective collaborations among the ASHRAE committees working in or having an interest in cybersecurity, and we are developing a mechanism for ASHRAE to engage with and collaborate with other organizations that have strength in this area. We will also create webinars on building-specific cybersecurity issues to ensure that our members are well informed on this topic. We have ASHRAE TC 210, Resilience and Security, working to help us figure out an approach to this subject. So as we consider all of these changes that are coming to both the electricity and the building sector, the challenges and the opportunities, we must not lose sight of the fact that buildings are built for people. Buildings serve people. They don't serve the grid. They don't serve any other sector. The best building design, construction, and operation will actually achieve two important things. First, they will ensure occupant safety, wellness, and comfort. And second, they will become a dynamic partner in this new energy future. The buildings that was designed yesterday will have to evolve in order to meet the design requirements of tomorrow. The buildings professionals who know how to create and operate grid-responsive buildings and also excel at delivering indoor environmental quality, these are the practitioners that the buildings owners need today and that they will need in the future. So as we prepare the society for continued leadership role in the future of the built environment and IEQ, ASHRAE is playing an active role in supporting the emergence of the health and wellness and research standards. Human well-being within the built environment is an area of significant growth and opportunity. And ASHRAE members, we are well positioned to be at the forefront of this growing interest. We recently created a multidisciplinary task group on health and wellness in the built environment. Through this MTG, we will leverage our internal knowledge base and also to link to other organizations to elevate the human health and comfort to new levels. These are specific initiatives associated with my presidential year, and we welcome and encourage your involvement. So here's how you can get engaged and how you can bring your essential buildings professional expertise into all of the discussions surrounding our new energy future. Get involved in ASHRAE's ongoing conversations. We have formed TC 2.10, Resiliency and Security. This is a new technical committee that are addressing these topics. ASHRAE has a smart grid standard, and there may be new activities as a result of this conversation in which you can get involved. Start talking to your clients. Help them become aware. Help them take action now for the future. Keep an ear to the ground and look for opportunities for demonstration projects that are testing and applying these new technologies and these strategies and business models and relationships so that you can get some experience yourself in these areas. Get to know your electricity providers and get to know the IT team in your buildings, as these are important relationships now and especially as we're moving forward. Look for and get involved in local, state, and or regional activities. So ask questions like, what is your Public Utility Commission or other local, state, or regional, or subnational organizations doing regarding regulations and policy changes that affect electricity and the building sectors? You can guide and even lead these discussions with your considerable expertise. Remember, ASHRAE has a strong grassroots government activities committee that can also help you with these conversations. Our social media team has done a great job at providing updates on all things ASHRAE. In fact, my presidential Facebook page following has increased 25% since June, and more than 50,000 people have tuned into the Facebook Live to watch the President's Luncheon at the annual meeting in Houston. So thank you. Thank you to any of you that are in this room now that have participated in those social media outlets. Going to the ASHRAE President's Facebook page is where you can stay up to date on how I'm working to build this bridge toward this new energy future. If you're on social media and you aren't already following my ASHRAE President's Facebook page or the Society's Facebook page and the Society's Twitter feeds, please consider doing so, as it is one of the easiest ways to stay up to date on how we are engaging the world in these conversations. Additionally, I want to invite all of you to visit our social media island, which is right outside those doors, outside of this room. There you can create your own ASHRAE journal cover. So take a selfie with the social media in the background, and you too can be on the cover of the ASHRAE journal. So, yes. Immediately after this luncheon, I will be there to take selfies with you if you're interested in doing that. So once you get your photo, whether it's with me or by yourself, be sure to post it and use the hashtag and tag it with hashtag #myASHRAE in your post. And because if you do this, you may be featured on the ASHRAE webpage moving forward. So keep that in mind. That's your incentive. We're also increasing our media exposure within our industry in other ways as well. Since July, my vision of bridging our new energy future has been featured in 18 articles that are influential articles within the industry. ASHRAE news and updates from our press releases have received more than 7,474 media placements. And all of these articles and news placements have contributed to more than 20 million media impressions, which is how many people have read about our work, the work that our society is doing. Additionally, Engineer Systems has named me as one of this year's 20 to Watch Women in HVAC. This is a really exciting honor, so thank you. And I'm proud to say that many of the other amazing women on this list are also people that you will recognize, as they are active ASHRAE members as well. This is media. Now, why is this media exposure important? So, being present in the media, it strengthens and validates ASHRAE's leadership position in the industry. It improves our society reputation and enhances our reach and visibility to non-members. All of these are vital components of being leaders, for me to be a leader, for you to be a leader, for ASHRAE to be a leader that's bridging our industry into our new energy future. So I've talked about how you can become aware of issues, technologies, opportunities, and challenges in our new energy future. And I've talked about how we can become engaged. But finally, I want to underscore the importance that we start now. The new energy future challenges current notions in our building design, construction, commissioning, maintenance, and operation. So if you start now to develop solutions to these challenges, you'll be ahead of the curve and ahead of your competition. To get ASHRAE started now, we are going to be doing two things, or we are doing two things. In 2016, we signed a memorandum of understanding with APA, and right now we're working to renew that MOU so that in 2019 it will have a very targeted focus specifically in regards to collaboration and education. I'm excited to say that we are embarking upon a partnership with APA to work with universities interested in using their campuses as living labs. ASHRAE will provide the research and technology resources to work with universities to identify programs that do two things. First, to support the university's goal, and second, to expand the knowledge of our new energy future. ASHRAE will partner in the implementation and monitoring of these programs. The partnership will also include the utilities that work with those universities, that serve those university campuses, so that we can work with them in partnership to explore these new technologies and these new solutions. So working with the Living Lab is important. It allows ASHRAE members the opportunity to work on microgrid scenarios, making you more familiar with how microgrids are integrated with the classic grid and the role that buildings must play to ensure the success of these scenarios. The more we understand about the interconnection between buildings and other systems, the better equipped we are to lead in the charge towards this new energy future. So as of today, a targeted list of universities to survey has been created, and we are currently evaluating the potential participants. So we are expecting that the original Living Lab participants will be selected later this spring. Now, this is news that I think you've all heard by now, that ASHRAE has purchased a new building at 180 Technology Parkway, approximately 10 miles north of where their current ASHRAE headquarters building is. The building is an existing building, and ASHRAE is planning to renovate this space to serve as the new world headquarters for ASHRAE. We're excited about this opportunity that it's giving us because it will demonstrate leadership in our industry by transferring an existing building into a state-of-the-art environment. ASHRAE is now in the beginning stages of a major capital campaign to fund these renovations. And we expect the whole project to be completed and our staff to be moved into this new facility by October 2020. You can follow all of the progress that's related to this activity by going to ashrae.org/newhq. I also want to bring to your attention that ASHRAE is on the verge of adopting a brand new strategic plan. The ASHRAE strategic plan for 2019 through 2024, this next 5-year plan, is in the final stages of development between the Planning Committee and the ASHRAE Board, and is expected to be approved in June at our annual meeting to go into effect starting July 1st. This is an exciting plan because it's going to give us new direction on how to take our society to that next level. Code officials, project managers, and designers have long recognized the need for a modern, up-to-date code governing the environmental impacts of commercial buildings. The 2018 IGCC has been designed to meet this need through model code regulations that contain clear and specific requirements with provisions that promote the safe and sustainable construction. The 2018 IGCC is the first fully integrated edition to be developed cooperatively between ICC and ASHRAE. Another way to start now, that you can start now, is to attend workshops on building this new energy future in this next month. ASHRAE and NREL are joining forces in this exclusive workshop to survey existing efforts in the research buildings. This workshop will be a roadmap to the future of building energy systems and effective electricity pathways. It will identify the frontier of research in several topic areas, including controls and information systems, components, and whole system models. Our new energy future is not that far away. ASHRAE knows it is essential to take a leadership role in this change as we are moving into this future, because if we don't, someone else will. Please take advantage of the work and the research that ASHRAE is doing. And most importantly, make sure you are contributing to it. As a member, you can begin by incorporating smart grid knowledge into the design of your projects. Start in the day-to-day in your own life. Become aware and build your own knowledge. Become engaged. Be a leader. We want everyone in the society to be one step ahead, and we are here to help you do that. With that mentality, we have started becoming the bridge to our new energy future that we have accomplished so much since June. It has been a busy and productive 6 months since becoming your presidents. Since the annual conference, I have visited 18 chapters, 5 of them outside of the US, and 13 in the United States. I have visited 11 countries. And on all of that traveling, I have presented the Building Our New Energy Future presentation that I give when I'm invited to do these things, and other presentations on related topics more than 70 times. You think about 6 months, 70 times, that's more than 10 times a month I'm talking about this stuff. This is a bridge that helps all of you become aware, to help you become engaged, and to help you think about how you can start now and how you can do this in your own communities. The world is changing, and ASHRAE is at the forefront of pioneering that change towards a more sustainable buildings that will strengthen our position in this industry as a leader and be the experts in how to best approach these new opportunities that are facing us now. I am enjoying my role as ASHRAE president. I'm enjoying it immensely. And I'm honored to serve as your president as we commit to building our new energy future. But to truly build this new energy future, we need all of you. All of us need to become that bridge in our own communities. Because if you do, our society will undoubtedly continue to strengthen our position as a global leader in this space, and we will be the pioneers leading the charge into that new energy future. So to our volunteers, thank you. Our society's work would not be possible without your support. And to our members, I've shared the tools that you need to be the bridge in your community. Now together, let's build that bridge to our new energy future. Thank you.